I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No executive session. Did you get all those,
Yeah, we both
warrant
just
signed?
signed them all.
Yep, okay, that's done. Is we had 8 of them. Approval of the July 7th meetings. I read through it and didn't see anything, but I'll see what other opinions are.
I didn't see anything.
No, I didn't see anything.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the July 7th meeting minutes as read.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
In favor?
In favor?
I'm in favor. Unanimous. Any adjustments to the agenda?
Yes, I'd like to add one more thing. It's for you guys to approve Alan Fleet as fire chief in the fire department position.
Okay, we'll put that at the end.
Okay.
Any public comment? Yes, not. Board comment? I'd say that was a no, so.
Yeah, got nothing today.
Public hearings and possible actions, I don't think we have any of those, do we?
No, well, yeah, your whole list of them right underneath it.
Oh, okay,
Oh, public hearings, no, Tank, sorry,
that's all right.
no public hearing. Well, that's my,
Don't mind me.
no, you were good, I was bad.
Items of discussion.
Yes.
Discussion about the junkyards.
Okay, I was asked, what is the law, what are our ordinances about around junkyards and nuisance properties, miscellaneous nuisances? So junkyards and automobile graveyards, we typically think vehicles. But then there's also the miscellaneous nuisances, which would also include white goods, refrigerators, dryers, bicycles, lawnmowers.
Lumber and all
Yeah,
that stuff,
all the things, all the other pieces of metal that can be on somebody's yard. So I've given you all the law. Our ordinances they break up our growth districts, where they're allowed and where they're not. They're only allowed in the rural district, so that's really limiting. And we don't have anything specific in our UDRO about junkyards, except where they're allowed and where they're not.
outside of what the state says.
Well, yeah, those are highway setbacks, right? I'm just saying our ordinances
Yeah,
are very
okay.
specific about where they're allowed. So there is a permitting requirement if they're gonna have one, and the state makes a permit for us, makes it nice and simple. Everybody's looks the same. I checked out several neighboring towns and found some as far away as like Chelsea. They all use this tape form. So that seems to be universal.
Well, maybe that's one of the few things that is helpful we get from this.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, yep. So under the state law, if you go to section 3754A, limitations on a graveyard, just to talk about a couple of things here.
I'm sorry, what was that number again?
3754A,
Oh,
state law.
this was in your packet, before.
You took it home with you last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did read that.
So if you look at that, it talks about the different types of interstate primary systems or 600 feet of a right-of-way of any other highway. And it's I would have to ask DOT if Route 26 is a primary system or just any other highway. I don't know how they classify this road.
Right.
So that's one thing I need to look into. automobile graveyards or junkyards located within areas that have been zoned industrial use or located less than 600 feet, but, more than 600 but less than 1,000 feet from a right-of-way of any highway. There's limitations on what they are allowed to do. And then we have, a whole bunch of things as far as how they're supposed to be screened, whether or not, where they're allowed, and whether or not we want the state police, county sheriff, or you elect your designee to handle these issues, huh? So there's moving pieces to this that we need to think about, talk about, all that good stuff. The first and foremost is our ordinance. Not allowed in the general development district if we're talking about one specific junkyard, which would be on this road. That was the one that was brought up and brought to my attention, so. And when we start looking at junkyards, I have to make it very clear that there's no favoritism. We have people in town that have things that have been on their property prior to the UDRO being drafted. We have had businesses that have been allowed to exist, automobile, mechanic shops that have turned into junkyards because they're no longer in business. They've been allowed to exist. And I want everyone to understand where I'm limited. If I can't see it driving down the road, it doesn't exist. I can't use Google Earth, I can't use drones, I can't do any of that. That's not legal for me to do, just so everybody's aware of that. Somebody can file a complaint, I can drive up on somebody's driveways, knock on a door, hey, I've received a complaint, but that doesn't mean I'm going after them for a junkyard. Just so that's clear for everybody. Do you guys have specific questions?
I do.
Okay.
I'd like to know what the town has done in the past to address this, if anything, the history on this issue.
Yep. And it's, I'm gonna say the name because it's actually filed in Superior Court. Further up Bear River, just about the last property in Newry on the left, across from, or very close to across from Step Falls?
Mhm.
Step Falls, huh?
Just a fun stuff.
So they were brought to court, found that, yes, you're a junkyard, you need to clean this up, and then the town never followed through with it. Never followed through with making them clean up the property.
So was it the town that acted, or was it?
The town acted, and, I mean, this went through attorneys, Superior Court, everything. Yeah,
And then the town dropped the ball?
the town dropped the ball, so that's one I can't go back after. It's probably gonna be frowned upon, and our attorney will tell me that I cannot. I wanna say the word is estoppel, but don't quote me. In other words, the town has allowed it to exist, therefore, it can exist.
Is that, I mean, obviously, no one in this room is an attorney, but
Go ahead.
that is gonna play against us if we try to act on other.
For that
properties.
particular one, yes, because the town did act on it and
Right,
then
but I'm
dropped the
saying,
ball.
let's say we go someplace else,
Mhm.
and like, hey, you gotta clean this up, and
Yeah.
they're like, well, you didn't make them clean it up.
No, it does not set a precedent. They can try, but our attorney will argue, that, no, that does not set a precedent.
You
It's no
can't-
different than if I issue a building permit, let's say to Loretta for the Taj Mahal. I issued it, she starts building in good faith. It's gonna take a lot of work and a lot of dollars for this town to make her tear down her Taj Mahal.
That's just what I was gonna say, that the legal part of it's real expensive.
Yeah. To undo something that we've allowed,
Right,
yeah.
well, that was just my concern, if we allowed one, and we're not gonna allow another,
No, it doesn't set a precedent.
then it's gonna get,
Two wrongs will not make it right. So if I,
well, we know that,
no, attorneys will argue it the same way.
but I
Yeah.
just feel like it's gonna be making a war.
I understand it's gonna take money. What I would, the question I'd like to throw out is, to the other two select persons, sorry. Should we ignore what we see going on? Or do we feel that it's time now to bring this forward and see if we can have a debate on the issue? And you know, maybe down the road, it might be wise to put this out on the November ballot for the people to decide.
I'm sorry, I need to clarify that. To decide a change in the ordinance or enforcement?
To decide which way we should go.
Okay, so enforcement has nothing to do with the citizen, that, you three and me, that's enforcement, that's it. You can't put that out to vote.
You guys have to.
You guys have to make that decision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's statute.
Oh, I didn't realize that. But I would like, you know, to see if the board is, want to proceed in looking into this a little further. I myself would like to try to work with the homeowner or recycler or the junkyard person that's not licensed yet, but to encourage them to take care of some of their materials that they have on their property in a timely manner. I don't know how the other select persons feel about that.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But because I know myself probably included, there's other people that have stuff, but it's not within sight of the road.
Right.
But
And-
we have to go after one, or we're gonna go after the other. You know?
Right. No, we're not trying to target anybody. I mean, we shouldn't be trying to target anybody. If one has an open junkyard in visible sight of Route 26, and others don't, but people know that they're there, you know.
My
it's-
feeling is,
it's
if
all
you
for
can't
one.
see
I
it
mean,
from
you
the
know.
road, then as long as it doesn't get out of hand, leave
Well-
them alone, but
The issue with most of Newry lowlands is we're on the aquifer. This is our drinking water.
Yes.
So we do, whether we can see it or not, if we know it's there and they have 3 or more unregistered vehicles, once you get that third vehicle and they're unregistered, then we need to do something about that. You can have 2, but you can't have
you
3.
can have two. But is that clause still in there for automobile, people that belong to automobile clubs and different things, they've got vehicles.
Like
that are
antique
vehicles.
Horseless
that they
carriages and all of that such
Yeah.
language, it is.
They keep that,
Yeah, but you need to prove that you're actually doing that as a business. The horseless carriage and the hobbyist law is a different permit. So we'd have to work, there's things that are not in our ordinance, never thought to put them in, I guess, once upon a time.
I don't know if I can say it, I'll say it. There was a recent article in the paper about junkyards in the Citizen, I don't know if anybody saw it.
From West Paris that they
From West
cleaned up,
Paris.
yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to say the name, but.
That's okay.
Well, that's right.
And you can read that and you can see what things that they had to deal with.
no,
And I'm sure there's others
Oh, there
in
is.
yeah.
the state that, I don't know, maybe it might be a good idea to get a couple of small towns that are,
I've prosecuted 2 of these, huh? I know what to do.
yeah,
I've already done this, huh?
okay.
Yeah.
The Greenwood, one of them in Greenwood, there
Yeah.
was quite a few $1,000s in laws, in legal.
Legal fees, yeah, it was, don't quote me, we could call Kim, the town manager, and find out for sure, but it was over $12,000 in attorney's fees and court costs that we had to pay out. We, because I was their code officer at the time, I'm including me in Greenwood.
Was that the tire issue?
No, that was a different one entirely, that was different, that was pre me being the code officer, the tires out on Rabbit Road. That was different, no, this was a different one on Roe Hill.
Okay.
So we could we, ask our person down the road to give them 90 days to clean it up.
We can ask the owner of the property.
Property, not, okay.
So that's
That's our
another
problem, yeah.
snafu, that the person that lives on the property doesn't own the property.
Right.
We need to go through the owners, which is, I believe, a brother and sister,
And
right
the-
to them.
And the owners.
It does not matter to me.
No, but they've
Legally,
got
we have to
some of the
notify
same
them.
Situations.
Yeah, there's a brother and a sister, we have to notify them legally first. And then they can send the tenant to us and say, what do you wanna do? Then we can start talking with the tenant.
Again, I don't like the idea of targeting one specific site. But in saying that, that's the only site that, as you drive by,
That's the only one you've had a complaint about.
It's the only one I've had a complaint about, correct.
Well, see, essentially the only one that's wide open.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brain for a skiway in Sunday River and Monkey Brook, our other three major roads in town, and I can't picture any junkyards over there. But that doesn't mean they don't exist, I just don't see them. Or I haven't seen them.
So is it in our ordinance you can only have 3 unregistered vehicles?
It's state law.
That's the state law.
You can have 2 unregistered vehicles. Once you get 3, you now are a junkyard.
That's very,
The only,
Auto
the
graveyard.
Auto
only thing
graveyard,
I
right.
dislike about that is when you got older vehicles that you have trouble getting parts for, it's kinda nice to have one around that.
You can have up
get
to,
some parts
you
for.
can have up to 2 tank.
I know that, but when you got 3 vehicles that are all about the same,
Then one better be registered.
most,
Yeah, then you gotta register one of them, huh?
Yeah,
most of them, take parts off that they might need and
Yeah, that's
store them
possible. I mean,
or
yeah, you could
things
do
of
that.
that
Then you
nature,
got
so
this-
that,
engine, transmission, rear ends and parts laying around, and I needed the fender off of that when I jumped.
So, so to start this process, you gotta start somewhere. And while we're not targeting one, you have to start with one. Because I strongly recommend the town not jump in to do 2 or 3 at a time. That will get difficult.
It could get real sticky.
It'll get difficult for me to manage along with my other duties, first and foremost. But I would like to start with just one. Let's work through the process. I have to start with 3 written notices. We're gonna try with some consent agreements. It takes months to get started before we say, all right, we're lawyering up. We're going this direction.
do we have to have a junkyard, graveyard, whatever it's called, ordinance first?
We
or-
do not.
Okay.
We do not. The state law says the municipality must have an application.
Right.
But before we start this, I wanna see if we can get some compliance, agreeable compliance with the property owner and tenant.
I just want to stress that we're doing this to help the town as far as beautification, people driving the highway not seeing that. I think it also, people nearby, it takes away their property evaluations when something like that is nearby. People that, if you put your house out for sale, people might say, I'm not gonna buy that, it's near a junkyard. But I would like to be able to write up, once we get through the process,
Mhm.
working through the process, that we can massage our own wordings in these things, so that it will give the applicant, probably in this case, that knowing that, we are giving them some leeway, we are trying to work with them and just trying to move things along. The other thing is about them being so close to the stream and rivers and bodies of water that can contaminate the soil and possibly leak into the waterways. I don't know the measurements of that, near that, if it meets.
I do.
If it meets the guidelines or
Yeah.
whatever, but I think it's, you know, it's a concern too.
Yeah. So once, do I understand that you want me to start the notice process? Is that what I'm hearing from the board?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
So why is there a complaint about it now? Because we can see it, because it's in the wrong zone, because they don't have the permit, they didn't fill out the application?
I think it's because it's grown so much in size. When it was 3 or 4 vehicles, I didn't get all these complaints. And it's steadily just gotten larger and larger and larger. And what I can't see over the bank, I can only see like, you know, the tops of, if I sit up high in my truck. You know, I can see that it's starting to go over the banking and closer to Bear River. But it's also the aquifer, that's your drinking water.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's the complaint,
Because there's more of it.
there's more of it, but the complaints have always existed. It's been, people have not wanted to put their names to it. And I understand that. We are a small town, everybody knows everybody. It's difficult for somebody to say, you know, raise their hand, point the finger, and put their name to that. It was difficult in Norway and Oxford, and there was a lot more people there.
The other thing is, it's kind of like it's his livelihood,
Mm-hmm.
part of it, so you gotta be careful you don't take his livelihood away.
Yeah, I think that, you know, a lot of his stuff is vehicles which are crushed down and can be sent to recycling
Yeah,
places
yes.
and get money for, so that's revenue for him. He also is selling vehicles out there.
Yeah, you can only sell 5 a year without a state police, without a state buyer's license.
I don't know how that-
That doesn't, that's not this face's job.
No, that state police gets in on that one.
Right, we would have to call the state police and probably file a complaint.
Then they probably wouldn't fall.
I mean, that doesn't bother me, it's just the area's grown so much in size, and as you can say, you can see the second field, and you can see
Yeah.
a line of,
Yeah.
look, snowmobiles, I think. maybe.
Well, that's the high field, I'm worried about the low field.
Yes,
Yeah,
I don't even know what's that, what they're.
Yeah.
I don't know, if people feel like they wanna move forward, or let it lie, or,
It's so hard because, yes, I don't love the way it looks, I get all the concerns, but it's already so freaking hard for a young person to survive in this town, and now we're gonna make it harder. And that's the part
Yeah.
that is frustrating.
and it's a mandate from the state of Maine that puts it on the municipality, because we know state police and county sheriff are not gonna do it.
Right.
I think if you give him time frames, because mostly isn't he taking cars and taking parts off of them and then storing the vehicles away?
I don't know.
I've been
What little bit
told-
I see of the advertising on Facebook says, got junk, call me. And I don't know what happens to it after that.
Right,
No.
right.
Let's,
I can start with a conversation. I have great rapport with the tenant.
let's start with conversation.
Well, we can't start with the tenant though, we have to start with the
Right.
home.
The letter will go to the property owner.
Right,
Yeah.
I can
That
always
could be
pull
a
over and talk
problem,
to
I can
somebody.
tell you that.
yeah.
Say what? Thank
Going to the owner, it could be a problem.
I have really thick skin in this position. Writing to 2 people that I've never met or seen is not a problem for me. I can write the letter.
What happens if no one, it keeps going on and there's no contact with the owner on this?
So what happens is, by law, I have 3 notices. First notice, hey, there's a problem, look, please call me. Second notice, this is your second notice.
A certified letter?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Let me get through this. Second letter is, you know, we've tried to contact you, you didn't contact us, you have X amount of days, please contact us. A little more stern. Third notice, certified mail. you have this amount of days to contact me. When that doesn't happen, the town, at a select board meeting, will make a decision on this date, whether or not we bring this to the town attorney and we pursue legal action. So they get steadily more assertive for the municipality to go after this individual. We haven't even had a conversation with the tenant yet. All of this just goes to the owners.
I see in the reading that sometimes the state police and sheriff's departments won't go out on those calls.
They don't go out on those calls, because there's a me. This town has a code enforcement
Because they
officer.
have a, yeah,
Yeah, and I'm not part-time, I'm not 5 hours a week.
but you have to be designated by the select person.
I need a vote that tells me to go do this. Yeah.
We have to guide her along.
Right.
No, you don't
You
guide
just-
me.
no,
Well, I meant,
Yeah. You just say, yes, Joel, please
Giving
lead
you-
enforcement.
Make the motion
Giving you
I
first.
wasn't
feedback.
saying guiding back, but it was,
Yeah.
I didn't mean guide, but I meant
Okay,
direction, I guess.
Approve it. We
There you go.
approve it.
yeah, I am your designee. I speak for you and follow the laws and our ordinances for enforcement.
You know, this is a beautiful town. People come up for vacations and like to go up to Screw-On Falls, and Step Falls, and up to Upton, and over to Sunday Riverside. I mean, and then you come across some of these things like this, it takes away the beauty of the
Why
place.
don't we, I don't know, trouble is, once we start, we gotta continue.
If
My
the select
first-
board would like to take some time to mull this over, I can start with a conversation with the tenant. But it's just a conversation, there's nothing legal I can act on, it's a conversation. And you guys can vote next time you meet what you want me to do.
Why don't we go with the conversation? The only thing that what I'm thinking is once we start, we gotta go from step to step to step. We can't go halfway and shut it off.
Once you do that, you don't get another bite of the apple.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right,
Just before you get to the lawyer step,
Yeah,
you wanna make darn sure that what direction you wanna go in, I think.
Well, I feel like if we're gonna start it, we might as well just start it.
why don't we start with the
I
conversation?
don't feel like that we just half-ass start it. I think if we're gonna do it, then let's just do it.
Write the letters and
Okay.
stuff.
Write the letter and
Nothing's gonna happen
start it.
tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a long time anyway, but
You should let it give, 30 days or?
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah,
So-
this is, and then, then we're gonna be in the heat of winter.
winter, yeah.
It'll all slow down then anyway.
right.
It's the nature of where we live, that's how that works. But come springtime, when the snow is melted and the road is not posted, then it starts again.
Well, I make a motion that we start with step 1 in the
Now, let's get this right.
junkyard
Hang on,
process.
gotta get the glasses on to see. Okay. Where is my MMA language? Here we go. Alright, so, junkyards and automobile graveyards can be enforced by state police or local and county law enforcement officers. They shall enforce. They don't have the time, they don't have the resources, so we know that's not gonna happen. The municipal officers or their designee. So, the motions should be that you,
Instruct the.
you are naming me as a select board designee, huh?
Instruct the field code enforcement.
To enforce the junkyard and automobile graveyard standards, state law.
Okay.
Okay, how's that, Amy?
Okay.
Okay,
Get all that? Yeah, I'll re-listen.
yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
That was a motion.
Okay, so I made the motion that we make Joelle the
Designee,
designee
to enforce the junkyard
to
and graveyard
enforce the
standards.
junkyard, automotive graveyard,
State laws.
baloney.
Yes,
I second,
All those in favor?
In favor.
in favor.
I think I'm gonna abstain.
Can abstain.
he probably should.
Okay. I was just projecting.
Okay, so while you've got me, do you have any more questions for me? I don't really have much of a code officer report. I gave Amy the written one last month for plumbing and code enforcement and roads. Sunday River Road, the grading is complete. We did have some back and forth with our contractor about what was adequate and what we thought needed to happen. I did the final inspection last Thursday?
Yeah.
With the actual man running the grader and said, you know, please, that over there and this here on this hill, hit those two sections again, please, smooth mount, and then we're good.
It didn't cost you anything.
It cost us, huh?
We haven't got the bill yet.
Yeah, the issue is the amount of traffic going out to Twin Bridges, Frenchman's, Riley. You know, it's a dirt road in the summertime with a very well-known swimming hole. So, watering hole's something completely different, sorry. So you're seeing a lot of traffic, and the hill right after the Newry town line that goes up and right at like 1365 Sunday River Road. That hill was a chattering mess, you know, like the washboard, within an hour of him finishing it, just because of the amount of traffic. And people want to do 40 miles an hour on that road, rather than just go slow, maybe even put it in four-wheel drive, and just creep up the hill. You don't need to be driving that fast up that hill, but anyway.
That isn't gonna happen.
It's not. So, the road was done. I accepted it. It was smooth for me. I liked the way they did it. They did add a lot of rock. We did have one concern with the amount of dust. They did not have a water truck out there, and we've addressed that. So
Yeah.
they'll be back out there in October, giving it the once for before winter. But that's it for roads.
Okay.
No? Oh, I just printed them out and
Okay.
gave them to
We'll
them,
move
right?
on to the
You've got them to hand them out. Yes.
W.H.A.T. Smith proposal contract.
Yeah. This is for, we've talked about this before, check reconciliation.
I thought we were gonna train someone else to do it.
Well, we certainly are now. They've upped their fee to $200 an hour, and it was $150. I think when they first started here, it might have been $125, I'm not even sure, because I wasn't here. So it's up to $200 an hour and not to exceed $11,000. So I was checking around with the other towns to see, because trying to keep peace here without having any extra, I don't know what the word is I wanna use. I don't wanna say conflict between employees, but I don't want to put stress on either of them. So Bethel, she contracted with somebody, hired somebody part-time to do it, paid like $30 an hour. Now they've created a full-time position, because that person that did it for them does multiple things now. Greenwood is actually thinking about doing the same thing we're thinking about.
With a full-time person?
Nope, getting somebody part-time just to do that.
Just
to do
wondered
that.
if it was something we could,
Oh, no, that would be a nightmare and a half.
okay.
Nope. Tried that too many times with code enforcement and everything else.
No, I know,
But, yeah,
I
nice
know
thought.
that's what it is.
Yeah, so,
I mean, let's say, if for instance, somebody is looking for work and they were offered part-time there and they were offered part-time here, that wouldn't be a deal breaker. I mean,
No,
we're
no,
not
no,
sharing, it would
no.
be two separate,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
but I didn't hear from two other people that I had written to just to check, because they're small offices also, and I wondered what they're doing. So I was thinking about, there was somebody in town that used to work for the town in a form of a position. And I just thought about reaching out to them and see if they would do it for $30 an hour. Because it's only once a month,
Right.
so,
How many
a
hours?
retired person. I don't know.
Oh.
Because that's the part of the problem, it's saying it's taking 4 hours, and I can't imagine it's taking 4 hours for them to reconcile the check. We get all the stuff in the mail, we forward it to them, and then they call or whatever, and,
What type of training do they need?
Math.
yeah,
'Cause computer does most of that. I
Yeah.
mean,
I mean, it's,
but if you don't put the right
Yeah, I
deposition.
know,
But-
I know.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, we have, we have 2 banks, we take credit cards, we have investment accounts, there's a lot of moving parts in it, so it's not like your personal checking account. But it's a little more intense, but I was thinking about asking for somebody else, or we could trade somebody in the office,
Well, I think we definitely need to train somebody, because we've talked about this
Yes,
multiple times, and
yeah.
that was the plan, and it has
Yeah.
not gone
Yeah,
anywhere.
and I didn't do it the last time because we were in between something else, I can't remember what the issue was, but now the year is ended and it's a clean sweep,
That's
so,
good to start over.
yeah, exactly.
What did you mean when you said it would be a stress upon your employees and conflict?
Yeah, it could be. One of them writes the checks, I don't write the checks. I approve all the stuff, but I do not write the checks. One writes the checks and the other one in the front office does not. And I don't want them to have an issue.
We need to
If you-
have checks and balances, I
Yeah.
can tell you that from times before.
Yeah,
Okay,
it can be, could be, I don't say it would, it may not be,
but
but
The
I'd rather.
possibility is there.
There, yeah, and I don't wanna push any buttons if I don't have to.
I'll make a motion that we look into possibly a part-time position that can fulfill this obligation to the town here.
I will second that,
All those in favor?
in favor.
In favor?
In favor.
Thank you.
We just don't wanna get too far behind on it. that's
No,
all.
that's why I'm asking today.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
but
the
we're
end of
halfway into the
July,
month.
I
and
know.
then, you know, we could be taking, by the time we do something again, it's gonna be next month and.
Yeah, time's going by too fast.
We're at PB.
Planning board
Oh, yeah.
rules and procedures back from the attorney.
Yeah.
Looked like there was a few things that we needed to change, but I guess,
Do we have that in here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's in
loose in your book, I did not put it, it's stapled in the back.
it's
Wasn't
got,
in order,
it's got some,
yeah.
it's got some squares there
Yeah, his,
where they're suggesting we make changes.
right. The attorney called me before he sent this to me, he did think it was a little overkill. He thought it was a little bit much. And he put his little red boxes, you got the email, right, with it on there? Yeah. And there was one place where he said, it says something about Martha's rules, and he thinks that needs to be taken out. I had to look for it, so I couldn't find
It's
it.
in enclosure one, so rules of order, which is separate from the rules of procedure.
So there was some other ones that he,
Martha's rules is a alternative to Robert's rules of order. Martha's rules of order is much more relaxed, does not, is not 700 pages of Robert's. And is geared more towards building consensus rather than rules for large gatherings, which the planning board does not.
So what's the next step? We edit, make these changes, and then resend it to the attorney? Is that the process?
if that's how you guys wanna do it, or you just wanna approve it with these changes made. But if you look at the simplified rules of order for the Newry Planning Board working sessions, I don't
How do
see,
you feel, Ted, about the changes?
I understand where the lawyer is coming from. However, the goal for the rules of procedure was to document how we do business and provide a one source resource, one source to go to for guidance on how to run a meeting. So when the town attorney says, well, hey, just reference them to the state law, that undoes the simplicity of being able to go to one document to look at how the planning board should conduct its business. And most people aren't gonna bother to go look up 30-A MSRA 265 and read all, and try to decipher all the gobbledygook that's in the state statute and then apply it, especially if it's in the middle of a meeting when there's a question of procedure. The other goal of coming up with something like this was to be able to provide consistency from one application to the next application. And also, it is not only a guide to the planning board, but it's a guide to the applicant, who can then read the document and see how the planning board does its business and goes through an application. And I think the lawyer's take on that, he missed that completely.
Does the applicant see this?
I would make it available to, like,
Okay.
for instance, Bethel has a rules of procedure.
Mhm.
They have on their webpage, anybody can download it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we have all kinds of ordinances and stuff and people don't read.
Well, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there, and I would make this available not necessarily on the document page of the webpage, I'd make it available on the planning board page.
Have we had any problems with that?
Yes and no. We have had, if you recall, last summer, we had a rather contentious application. That, while I didn't bring anything, there was a possibility that they were gonna ask the board for a reconsideration, which was, there was no standard for how the board would do that. So, this is trying to establish for the unexpected, so when it does come up, there's something there that the board can look up and say, okay, this is how we're supposed to do this, as opposed to leaving it to whoever happens to be chairperson for that term to decide how to do something. And then the next chairperson decides to do it differently, et cetera, et cetera. The existing bylaws do not address any of that. They simply establish the roles of the three officers, the meeting times, et cetera. And I felt that it'd be nice to have something a little bit more from that. However, I never imagined it was gonna take a year to get this thing out. And the one other note I'd like to make is the reason that the planning board pushed this to you, the select board, was because that document not only deals with planning board members, but it deals with the code enforcement officer and the recording secretary, both of which the planning board has no authority or supervision over. And so it would not be proper for the planning board to put out a rules of procedure that tells either the code enforcement officer the job responsibilities and or the recording secretary. Otherwise, I never would have taken up your time with this.
Right.
You know,
Do you think people are actually gonna read this? I mean, you think an applicant's gonna be like, oh, let me go read these 25 pages on their process? I'm not trying to be a jerk, I know how people function.
if we take that course of action, then I would recommend that we trash the 200-page ordinance that we have and go with something that's only 5 pages long and make it a lot simpler. I can't make anybody read the UDRO or rules of procedures. All I can do is make it available to them.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You can take a horse to water,
But you can't make them drink.
But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try to take the horse to water.
Right.
Well, I like Ted's idea, and I would favor that Ted and Loretta get together on his concerns that he just pointed out, and in the different parts of the draft here, and then take it to the lawyer
We've already taken it to the lawyer. These
Right.
red marks are the
These
These are
lawyer's.
the lawyers'
Right, I know
recommendations.
that.
Basically.
But he wants to change the wording.
Yeah.
With all due respect, to save the towns some money, I don't think we need to go to the lawyer
No.
one more time.
Okay.
He made his recommendations.
Right,
It's for us, it's up to us. We don't have to do any of it.
Right.
We could pass it with the.
Right.
all
Right,
of our-
or you can table it
Recommendation.
and I will work with Loretta and come up with a clean final draft. I would prefer you to vote on a clean final draft and one that's got,
Rather than the one with the
Yeah.
red.
rather that's got boxes in there and there's
Yeah.
no real.
That I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that I'm dying to get back into this again, but
Come on, yes you are.
There
Coming
was-
down the road is, what did that mean, you know?
there was a question from the attorney about remote meetings, because you had something in here about remote meetings or something.
Yeah,
I can't
there's-
find it.
there, well,
I can't find it now.
the attorney said, hey, doesn't the town have
Yeah.
an umbrella remote meeting policy?
Right, and I
Which
don't,
we don't.
we don't know.
We don't. The planning board came out with I don't know what you wanna call it, because it wasn't put in the bylaws, it was just a freestanding document that was back during the pandemic.
Okay,
It was,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it started
And was
during
in
COVID,
response
right?
to,
Yeah.
in response to all of that. And basically, the remote, what's in there is basically what the state came forth with.
okay,
Yeah.
And reflects
His-
what,
Yeah, his
what's in there.
suggestion says, suggest adding section 5.11 to address allowing recording of the meeting remotely pursuant to subsection 403B.
well, and that brought me to, you know, we're always asked, with selectmen's meetings, can we have those remote, or these other meetings and stuff, and.
We
if
did do them remote during COVID.
Right, but
Over the-
we should have a policy saying, yes, we do, or no, we don't.
Well,
It's
I
my
think we
thought.
can-
and there's state law that's quite clear as to when you can have a remote meeting, and it's certainly not for the convenience of the officers.
Okay,
Well, I don't remember when it was, but during COVID, we voted as, that the selectmen could do those remote from home meetings, because we had some.
yeah,
And I don't remember what the wording was, but we did. Now, I
I think
don't
they
know that
allowed
that
it
would
during
cover
that
the rest of
time.
the town.
I think
there was an
that
end
the
to it.
tolerance for that in the state has expired.
Well, it could be, but I remember we
Well, honestly, yeah,
voted
it
to
should.
do something on that, and I don't remember exactly
But-
what and when.
right.
You know, now if the town wanted, if the town wants to adopt a umbrella policy for remote meetings, the planning board will
Well,
definitely
yeah.
yield to that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, well, I weren't sure which would be the better way to do it, either A, leave it as
Well-
it is, or, because I remember when I was in Bethel during the pandemic, so we did have some remote meetings, and I don't know what they had for policy, because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know we came up with one so we could have them, because that's,
And so did the planning board.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
basically what was in there, what's reflected in there
Is what you had,
is what we had, and is what the state, it follows the state guidelines that
Okay.
came out for that.
yeah,
But the big thing about remote meetings is, there's gotta be a justifiable reason for it, not just for the convenience.
right,
And the big bugaboo about remote meetings is, and one that will really affect us, is you have to make it available to the disadvantaged.
yeah.
So, all of a sudden, does that mean that we now have to hire a signer
Yeah,
to sit there and
yeah.
sit
Yeah.
behind Chink
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sign the whole meeting? So, be careful what we ask for.
right, well, that's why I brought it up, because he mentioned that, and I thought, I was gonna look and see, and then I kind of forgot about it,
Yeah.
till today when I read it again, I thought,
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, if you're gonna have a remote meeting, there's
oh. I knew there used to be.
there's some steps in there that have to go, that you have to.
Again,
go
I
through.
don't know if the steps we did when we voted on it was for a time frame.
Certain probably
or
was,
if it
but,
was-
yeah,
That's in the book and that's what it is, you know?
Back to the rules and procedures, I will work with Loretta to incorporate or adopt or not adopt whatever the town lawyer has suggested. And, update the planning board. And come back with a clean draft. If we keep the employee's job description in there, or assign jobs to those employees. If you take the employees out, you're not gonna see this again. It's gonna stay in the plan.
Well, I'm
But,
a little bit concerned about this one telling this one what to do, and this one said no. You know what I'm saying, as far as you and us control the code enforcement officers. I don't think they need anybody else telling them what to do. Not that I'm against it, but I can see where that could be a problem.
well, that's why the rules of procedure was coming through you, because of that.
You know,
Because you are the supervisors.
we're the final,
You're the supervisors
Yeah.
for those two, for that, at least one of those individuals, possibly both of those ultimately.
yeah.
So, however, please be in mind that the planning board does get, currently has, and has for, since I've been around, gotten assistance from both the code enforcement officer and the recording secretary.
I'm not saying that she can't assist, but I'm just saying that I don't want them saying, oh, well, you gotta go do this, when
Right, so,
nobody else knows about it.
right, so that's, as I said, if, you know, that's why that was in there, and that's why I put it before you people, because I don't have the authority, or the board, the planning board does not have the authority to tell Joel, do this or do that. Or, the recording secretary, Becky.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with suggesting something to Joanne, but as far as telling her you have to go do this, I'm against that. Anyway, what do you guys wanna do?
I think we have
Table it until
them
we have more
table it,
information?
and then they go through it, and then we can vote on the final draft.
I know it's.
I'll get in touch with you.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Okay, what we got next, let's see.
Grange Hall water test
Yeah, David could probably know
Yeah,
what that's
David,
all
did you
about.
look at those?
I don't know what I'm looking at.
I didn't either, I did give it to Joelle, and she did
Now,
answer
this
me.
is the first time I see you. Was all of this on that
Email?
information?
It was on the second email, yeah,
On-
yeah.
On the second one?
Yeah, the first one was just telling you about the meeting, the second one was, yeah.
Can you tell me what they found in the water?
We were hoping.
Yeah,
Uh,
see, we sent it down only because,
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the second page.
yeah,
No chloroform.
yeah,
pH, okay. Hardness. Yeah. All right. Absent from gold one, that's good.
Manganese has the low.
That's, pretty, iron and manganese is pretty prevalent
Around here.
around
Yeah, it
here.
is.
Most wells have it, no matter if it's a shallow well or a deep well.
Yeah.
I have 450 feet of well, and I have it.
I have it too, and I've often wondered if it wasn't just, a lot of it was the pipe rusted, the rust from the pipe.
Yeah, well, from the copper pipe, that's
No, I'm
called.
talking about the well casing.
Oh, the well casing, oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that was just because it's high.
So manganese.
I know.
Manganese is, they have a limit, as you could see, but, the state doesn't, enforce a limit on manganese or on iron. You can have quite a lot,
It says no.
and it's not
limit.
gonna hurt, it's not gonna,
so it's not gonna hurt you.
Uranium is under the limit. Uranium calcium. Fluoride is up just a little bit, but that's a naturally occurring fluoride in the water. That's not fluoride that you see in a municipal.
It's not added fluoride.
Right. Nitrates and nitrites are all down, that's good. That's when you get the blue baby syndrome,
Oh, okay.
you get too much of that. Yeah, they just did a quality 18, it's just a simple test.
Well, it's kind of public building. so you
It
gotta
takes,
make
it
sure.
takes 24 hours and then you change the color, and if it doesn't change, it's absent, if it's colored. pH is within range. No limit on hardness, so, you know, that's the same as iron and manganese. Although, iron does have a 0.3 and they're considerably lower at 0.17. Yeah, the main thing is you don't have fecal coliform in your water, that's the big deal. How often do you have this water check?
This is the first time, this was at the Grange Home.
Oh, this is the first time?
Yeah, that I know of, yeah, we've had it tested, and because it smells so bad, you know, when we rented it out, we thought, you know, maybe we should have this tested to make sure it's not gonna.
What does it smell like, rotten eggs?
Yeah.
Okay, that's sulfur,
Yeah.
yeah. That's because of non-use.
Use.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do go and I flush the toilets and run the shower
Oh, yeah.
and put the water on and let it
Yeah.
run and,
But it
Oh,
builds up
but-
over
yeah.
time,
Yeah,
you know,
But
when
it's
it comes to the
sloppy.
surface,
Yeah.
and that's what you get,
yeah,
you know.
so we just wanted to make sure it was safe, per
That's our
se, for
emergency.
renters, and it's our emergency shelter, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt you.
okay, good,
When I was a kid, there was the sulfur spring down in Peru.
yeah.
And people used to go down there and drink it,
oh,
and bathe in it.
I can't. I wash my hands just doing something there and I'm like, I gotta go home and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, give me some bleach, give me some, cause it's just, you can't get the smell out.
Yeah, it
It's
smells
just,
like rotten egg.
yeah, it
Yeah.
does,
Yeah.
but I'll try to just keep running the water and.
Yeah, do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, we just, that's why we had it tested. because-
I would suggest you have it tested once a year
Yeah.
at the minimum.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem with that.
Okay, so
Good.
I guess we're done with
Just
that.
maybe if people rent it out, just to explain that you might get some sulfur
Well-
smell.
Yeah,
How long would you have to run it to make it, to clear it up? I mean, would it be
Oh.
A
throw it down?
long time,
Well, no,
I think.
Yeah, you have to
just
run a
curious.
hose out.
Just
I run a hose out for 12 hours,
Oh, wow.
then I don't know how much water you got in your well. and,
Well, exactly. It's an
you know,
artesian,
and how
but
that-
Run it dry.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know, do you have any records to say what the yield
I'm sure
was?
we do, I'm sure. we
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
So,
It's an artesian well, I
Yeah.
don't know when they put it in, but.
yeah, I have to think, but we used to have a little card, it's probably on my Rolodex cards.
Let's see.
What's that one? I'll have to look again.
Well, if it's safe, then I.
That's what I was most concerned about,
That's-
because,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Cool.
well, you get that from a retired water specialist.
That's all right.
Tapping into your.
We kinda counted on that.
Yes.
Yeah, we were like, David will explain
Send
this
it
to
to
us.
us, yes.
This was just, Joelle made this,
Yeah, it's the same as this one.
yeah.
Well, it's a little more to it. The one in your book has only from July,
She added
July
some more, and
12th to
that made
the
it a little bigger
20th.
for
Oh,
our,
I know, I was listening to the scanner.
yeah.
it's been busy.
This was just basically information.
Yes, that's all she did. She wanted you to
Right.
see it.
It was like 17 calls in a certain short distance of time.
Last weekend, from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah,
So
plus
they,
a lot of that was because
Yeah.
of the power outage, but
but they had a ton of calls, which just wanted to let you know how busy they are. Have been, and they have been. So it's, they had hiker rescues, they had fire alarms, smoke alarms, tree alarms.
some of these automatic sprinkler alarms, what's happened there is
When the
Air
power
pr-
goes out,
air
you gotta
pressure,
set them.
air pressure
Yeah,
keeps them at a certain level,
yeah,
like, I don't know what
And then they-
exactly, but,
made down.
and when the power goes out, the compressor doesn't come on, and then they leak down, and when they get down to, we'll say 40 pounds,
Yeah.
they automatically open because they think that something's happening,
Right, yeah.
but,
See Brookside had one
yeah. And I was gonna ask Joanne if one was here, because they've got this policy that if you go to 3 or 4, and I think it's 3.
Oh, the alarms, yeah.
Yes, they
uh,
know.
But
Yeah.
what, in this case, I don't feel that it's
No, they wouldn't use
it's
it
not
for
the
that.
owner's
No.
problem,
Nope,
No, they wouldn't.
so those numbers shouldn't count to the fine.
no, they won't.
716, is that supposed to be last tango alarm?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, on these false alarms, as they keep happening on certain properties, do we
We
do
have,
any enforcement with that with the fire
we have,
department?
I think
They have a policy.
there's a number,
I'm
I
sorry?
think
They
it's-
have a policy.
I think it's 3 times in a year. Over that, and I might be wrong on the number, but over that, they have a fee that they charge for that.
Good.
but if like the power goes out and there's
Right,
no
they would-
Well,
function,
you can't really
that
charge for
doesn't,
that because
Yeah,
that's
that
just an
doesn't
active
count.
order.
Yeah, I
That's
can
not-
understand that.
That's right.
but if all's well in the world and their stuff just keeps going off,
Right.
Yeah.
that counts.
Yeah,
And there was some backcountry rescues that we get involved in that.
yep.
Fire reported at Frenchman's, but it was called in as deep hole.
Something like that, yeah.
Somebody didn't know where they were, which is not uncommon.
Not
And
up
she
in that
did go up
country.
there.
They don't have a lot of,
And they
Yeah.
had a fire.
they don't have a lot of landmarks.
Yeah.
So it's a fire rescue.
There's a lot of landmarks, but nothing you can count on.
Yeah.
It ain't the 4th tree.
Yeah,
It's like when people ask where the deep hole is, I'm like, you just gotta know.
Yep.
yeah,
All right,
I guess,
Well,
any,
that's fine.
yeah, you got
Oh,
the
business
adjustments.
for
We got the
adjustments.
adjustments, yeah. You need to approve the fire chief and
okay,
assistant fire chief. So, Alan Fleet would be the fire chief, they'd had their election of officers. Joel's assistant fire chief, Ben Lair's fire captain, Alan is the safety officer, because nobody else followed through. Laura Began is a training officer, and Ashley Conbright is a fire secretary, same as last year, nothing's changed.
well, I make a motion, we appoint their Alan as fire chief and all the folks they elected.
I second it.
all those in favor?
In favor?
In favor?
In favor.
Okey-dokey.
What do we have there? Code office already gave us her stuff.
Yeah.
Deputy clerks. Not clerks, as clerk, period.
Okay, so I just like to report about taxes, so there's currently 17 liens, 2 are from last year and then 15 from this year. They total $30,531.55. So that's really very minimal, I expect some
What
of
it
those.
used to be.
Yeah, and then I have 3 other accounts, 2 we did not lien, they're in bankruptcy currently. And then we have 1 that we're still waiting a tree growth penalty, and those total
Those
$35,533.68.
bankruptcy ones, we are first in line, if I'm not mistaken, right? For getting something out of it.
Part of it is they have some of the properties for sale, that's part of, the
Yeah,
proceedings,
but I
so,
mean,
We're first after the bank.
yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
They have a
We're-
loan on
we're-
it, so.
We're first when the bank
Yeah.
takes it back.
We didn't lien them, but we might relook into that,
Yeah.
possibly.
One
You
book
just
tells-
gotta stay up on top
One
of
book
that.
tells you one thing and one kind of tells you another.
One tells
so-
you don't lean them and one says do, and, but I am going to a class on Thursday with, a guy from Lemoyne, and he is the one that teaches the liens class, so I'm gonna ask him for further clarification.
Yeah,
Cause if we
because-
can lean them,
Well,
I
that would
think
be,
it's a
that
great idea
way,
to have it recorded, so
that's
somebody's
what I
looking.
meant, was to have
So,
it recorded.
But
yeah.
one thing said, no,
Yeah,
don't do that, and this
so.
said do, so I'll get further clarification and then revisit that, yes.
Okay. Town administrators report.
Remember I told you Erica Buffkin from APCOG was gonna help us fill out a housing opportunity program grant for $10,000? Well, we've been awarded the grant, and that's to redo ordinances, so Joelle and Ted, I'm sure, will be working with her on that. Which will have more ordinances to take to town meeting next year. The local roads assistance program, a lot easier than it used to be, I do it online now. They send us like, I think we get like 14,000 a year from them, and we have to say where we spent it, if we spent it on roads, or if we saved it for next year, or whatever.
We can sure find a road and spread it.
We've always spent ours on roads, because we've always paved every year, so I did that for next year, so hopefully we'll get some more money from them, might be 15,000 if we're lucky.
Moving up.
Yeah, we are. We had, these people call us, I forgot the girl's name, Stacy, I lost the card. Her name weren't Stacy, though, Stacy's the other lady. Yeah, anyway, they clean stones, cemetery stones and stuff, and she was putting one in for someone at the Sunday River Cemetery, and she saw where our stones need to be cleaned and replaced, and I said, well, we have somebody that's doing it.
We've got some, well, some that are damaged.
Right, they do fix those, but in the meantime, we've already talked to that
Oh,
Stevens guy.
Did he get his insurance renewed?
Yes, he did, and
Okay.
he's supposed to be coming sometime, but I told her to feel free to look at our cemeteries and stones and give us an estimate, because we don't have a contract with this guy, we just had used him for this year,
Yeah,
last year and this
and
year.
it sounds like he's getting to the point where he may not be doing it much longer,
But these
So-
people are in New Hampshire.
Yeah, they're out of New Hampshire and they're, you
other
know,
than the fact that I don't know what kind of problems it is,
Yeah.
we're using money to pay somebody
Yeah.
out of state, but,
well, if they're gonna do a good job, that's what matters.
yeah,
And if the price is right and it's a good job,
yeah.
yeah. So that's something else I'm looking into. I had a girl call me she's starting a business for, short-term rentals. I told her we had taken this to town meeting 2 years ago. And it was voted down, but she sent me some stats on, how many short-term rentals we have and blah, 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 which we know we have more
We already
short-term
knew
rentals.
that.
Yeah, so what I gathered from her conversation today finally was she was, looking for a municipal partnership to move her business forward.
Yeah,
So I thought, I'll take it to the board, but that's probably as far as it's gonna go. Told her that.
as far as I'm concerned, it is.
Yeah, well,
We don't need any more partners.
No, and we don't need,
Partnerships.
it was voted down.
I was-
Right.
I was
So-
always
And it
told-
was overwhelmingly
Yes.
voted down.
Right.
Yes.
So-
I was told one time, and I believe it, the only ship that doesn't float is a partnership.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I had this gentleman call today, he wants to be on the Newry Planning Board. Ted had him call me. Well, the guy is not a Maine resident anyway, so he can't be. But this brings up another thing. I think if we're gonna have people on our planning board, we should have Newry residents.
I agree 100%.
We
Is
do
But it
that-
not-
doesn't
is that
state
not
that
in
in
our-
any
It does
of our
not say that in our
ordinances.
ordinance.
No, we need to change that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that to you guys before we proceeded, to see if we got your approval to proceed with that.
Because the MMA
Yeah.
Do you
manual
need,
says
you
they
need a
have
vote
to
on
be,
that?
they have to be
You need a
18,
vote on
they
that?
have to be a Maine resident.
And, generally states a person must be 18 years old, a resident of the state of Maine, and a US citizen to hold a municipal office. They do not have to be a registered voter or a legal resident of that town or city. But, but we could change that, because we can have it. They have
But
to be in the
ordinances have to go to town
town
meeting.
meeting,
Yeah.
so, and I would think that would
Well,
pass the
let's
town
put that
meeting,
on the list.
so,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely put that on the list. I thought that was one of our requirements already.
Well, I think it used to be, but then, I'm going way back when Joe Aloisi was on the board. He lived in Newry,
Right,
then he sold his house, and then he moved up Songo,
right.
and I believe it got changed back then.
Yeah, because he was,
And now it doesn't even
On the
address it.
planning
Now it doesn't
It
address
doesn't,
it at all.
it's just, it's not,
So,
they are saying you
Yeah.
have to.
In
be a
my
resident.
25-page document, there's nothing about that?
They have, well, that's the rules of procedure,
Procedure.
there's also an ordinance,
so,
there's a planning board ordinance that states about how many members.
yeah,
And we,
I-
we've read it all.
Yeah, we
like,
look at- I got them all right here.
I
So-
know we don't have a lot of people in town that are interested, but
no, but I
they
don't,
need to have a.
We don't need people from
Well,
far away.
right, and I did say to
They
the
need some
guy.
making
Skin
this-
on the,
Yeah, they need
Skin in
something.
the
yeah.
town.
I won't say any more till the TV's. But anyway,
anything else?
nope, that's all I got.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, I was just gonna say that in our comprehensive plan meeting, Erica said she was going to get me the mission statement,
Oh, the revised one.
the revised one. I did not get it, so that's why we can't talk about it.
Yeah, she
Okay.
didn't send that out.
No,
So
and I
I'll
just
try to
checked my
remind her?
email to make
Yeah.
sure, so.
Okay.
At the next meeting, hopefully we will have that to talk about. But now, I make a motion that we adjourn at 5:41.
I second that.
In favor.
In favor?
All right.
Wait,